You should have seen it.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much of a pain in the arse, I hope. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
No, they most certainly did not. Ember lost his nerve in the face of a beast, but he didn't lose heart.
Indeed it is. Thank you for your... The fact remains, however, that Ember will not always have a battle-hardened all I have gleaned.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has... And this time he was found wanting. But after all...
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade. But a scout's nose is different. And by sniffing out that log, young Ember here has shown he wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you... I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just...
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right. Just like someone, and if you ask me, we've been leaning that time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulder.
Couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking. Next thing you know... Chump.
Forgive me, Sid. This...
Things rarely do these days, but that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Men who can make the best. Remember that.
I will, Sid.
Uncle, the Field Marshal has agreed to your...
Ha! Of course he has.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Porter's Aldridge. They will await your return there.
One other?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he asked if I might have a solution. And I suggest...
One of your...
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his.
Another outlaw? Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier. Eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain short.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little but luckily I had some unexpected...
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward.
It was more of a hand.
Well... The old battle axe was so pleased, she had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new move. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they... Now, join us there at your earliest convenience.
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
that it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall, and there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
What do you think that thing is?
There's something about it. I feel like it's calling to me.
Mid, tell me this is all you need.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realised I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0 and a cogwheel. Just a tiny one. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortune.
Wait, the children. When they took apart your... Now that I think about it, they didn't use it.
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly.
Sid! Is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's fine. She's just busy working on her next
A
project.
new invention? Is it an airship?
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special, something only you three. A brass gear. A tiny...
Oh, the one you forgot.
We saved it, just in case. It's in the bag.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then all the pieces that are left over, we keep under...
That's...
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear? We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about your... hoard. Just in case.
Thanks, Sid.
Well, did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe.
Will it work? He's perfect!
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right place, well, you just wait and see. That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm going to bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat. My dad'll, but it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly. She seems preoccupied, but then again, when isn't she?
I hear that you traveled to Ash, Sid. Did you by any chance recover the name?
I did.
If I may? The bearer registry. The director was a brutal man. He got no worse than he deserved.
The registry was all I found beneath the tree. There was no sign of a body. Nor any record of what happened to the children after the orphanage closed.
I pray that at least some of them survived. All their names are here. The ones we lost. My friends. My light in those dark times. I can still remember their faces, like it was yesterday. Children who were taken from their bunks in the morning, never to return. No explanation ever offered.
They'd be happy to know that you survived, Herman.
But why did I make it out alive, when so many others died in that awful place?
It's not your fault. And blaming yourself won't bring them back. Honor their memory. See that their names live on. That way, at least. They're never truly gone.
Thank you. Sid, I'm going to write a book. An account of the horrors of Badbach, and the spirit of those its custodians sought to crush. All of Valisthea will know of our suffering, and in the name of those I lost, I will not let it happen again.
Neither will I.
These records would have been buried for all eternity, were it not for you. Thank you.
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen herself.
Not Sancfordian, do you? And?
You all right?
Something troubling you?
No more. It's just... Eda's baby will be...
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north. Families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the... I'll let the little tykes know they were welcome.
So?
Well, the problem is that Eda's due any day now, and...
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, there just might be.
All right, then. What exactly are we making?
A good luck charm, but not...
Not just that.
No. One made from... There's not lucky in all the realm, or so we used to say. Thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with their suppliers, but nothing.
Only the big day is fast approaching.
That or the bird whose horse it's attached to, aye.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call. I'll let you know.
You're a good friend, Clive.
It's him, I tell you. The Crown Prince of Sunbreak.
It's usually me making demands of Hippocrates. I wonder what this is about. If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him. Lawsman Hippocrates, I received your note.
Ah, yes.
You spoke of making amends with Dion.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once... This was some years ago, of course, before I joined. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of to supervise, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons. His studies no longer being deemed necessary. I had not expected to meet with him again, least of all here.
Have you spoken with him?
No, I have yet to find the right moment. His Highness always seems so preoccupied. Not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know. But as you say, that was Ultima's doing.
When I first met him, it was not, and I did nothing to ease that burden. It is one of my greatest regrets, and what he truly needed, the blame for Dion's transgressions.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me a wife. Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower, fabulists and fraudsters all, of course, but there is oft a seed of truth to be found.
Well, it can't hurt to... Where can I find this flower?
You have seen cultivated wyvern tails before, I trust. Well, those which grow in the wild differ only in their... There is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across... Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might...
It's all right. I'll find you a wife.
Thank you, Clive.
Joshua, I read your message. You're right. I don't think I'd realized how different, but...
I suppose it's not hard.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her, to let her know that we still need her. Now more than ever. But how to do that? When...
Of course. You remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual... And Jill and I broke from the procession to
see the snow daisies. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire
In the rain. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say...
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business.
Man's Hill.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandit?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are
This is no time to ride. Let's go.
Yeah!
Back. Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Here they are. Good girl. Fly, Ambrosia. Straight home now. Look who's here to meet us. Pity they don't seem fond of visitors. I've had warmer welcomes.
Ready, girl?
Might this be Nickelberg?
Thanks, girl. These people aren't turned. And the village seems safe enough at least. What is going on here?
Ah. Did you too heed
the call? No, to be honest, I wasn't sure I'd find...
Is that...
What are you doing here?
It is my home. Yeah.
You keep saying that.
They came here to perform the rite. Just as King This village is that old where they shall cast their souls upon the...
Give themselves.
Oh, Lord, cleanse us of our...
Let free us from... They want to be saved. Forgive me.
You mean the traveler from Storm? Yes.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll go and...
They seek the same salvation Barnabas did. At least the third chair still lives. Let's go and find him.
Excuse me. I am. Lord Rosfield. That's right, and you must be the third chair. I am. Cyril was worried for your safety. Then I must apologize. I did not mean to trouble the bearer of the burning quill. He said that you had failed to report. I came here to study the followers of this new faith. But you have seen them at their prayer. They devote themselves to the veneration of their Lord, praying night and day that they might be rid of their wicked will, not that they might be granted respite from their worldly... Serve him with all... I, too, swore to devote my life to the service of my Lord, and so I would see it through, see these people safe, that they might achieve, that they might do their duty to their Lord. You do understand what I do, my Lord. They would cast aside their wills and become... I know that it may be hard to believe, but to these people, forgive me, my lord. But Did you hear that, my lord? I'll go and find out what... An ether flood. Oh no. There must be something I can do. Echoes as well. Found her.
Ready, brother?
Ready. Let's try. Loaded! now. We meet again. I've killed your kind before. Damn it. I had to save them, that they might have a chance to find true salvation by devoting themselves to the service of their Lord, just as I did when the Undying plucked me from the gutter and gave me a cause to believe in, a duty to serve was everything to me, and I would not deny them that fulfillment, even if they must become a Kashik in order to achieve it. Forgive me, my Lord Marquis. I did not mean to trouble you with this. My findings. Could you deliver them to Master Cyril for me?
Of course. Your duty will be done.
Look, my lord. They are saved.
They are saved. Founder. I should get this report to Cyril.
My Lord Marquis, I am glad to see...
I met with your third chair, Cyril.
Thank you, my lord. He remained in Ash?
He died protecting the villagers from it. I buried him in Mickelberg.
If you could not save him...
The villagers, they prayed to their god that they might be... Then an ether flood came. Your brother sacrificed himself that they might... Even knowing that life...
Then he perished defending liberty. For the right to choose how one dies is no...
Sid would...
A noble ambition. It matters not how misguided others, only that the decision... We live according to the teachings of our order, for better or worse.
But he didn't die for your creed, and you still believe that what he did was...
I believe we of the Undying are not slaves, and this was his will.
I'd like to know this man's name, Cyril. To know the names of all the Undying who've fallen and they died serving my house. That is my...
Of course. I shall fetch the Book of Martyrs at once. My lord, it has been the greatest honor, though our duties may differ. And were they here, I have no...
Fly, Ambrosia.